Looking for something spooky to read this season? Don't worry, I got you covered. Today we're going to be looking at X-Files 30 Days of Night. This is a crossover with IDW, and at the time, X-Files was, X-Files was over at DC. So this is technically a DC IDW crossover. Although, funny enough, X-Files did jump over to IDW for a hot minute. And we actually got another crossover involving the X-Files, or at least the Lone Gunman. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. This crossover is kind of interesting because not only is it written by Steve Niles, the creator of 30 Days of Night, it's also co-written by Adam Jones, the guitarist from Tool. I can't get over that. The guitarist from Tool helped write this book. Anyway, so this actually acts as a prequel to the first story of 30 Days of Night. Mulder and Scully are brought to Barrow, Alaska after discovering an unknown body deep within the snow. This leads to them discovering that there are vampires and they are closing in. The book really does a great job at dealing with the horror of not only just the vampires, but also the environment of 30 Days of Night. And it actually does a really good job of not only tying into the Barrow story, but also tying into the other stories as well, like the connection to Russia, the connection to the native people of Alaska. There's a lot of great stories from 30 Days of Night, and since it was Steve Niles who created it, he does a great job of tying that all together. This actually feels like an extended episode of X-Files, and it's so seamlessly tied in with 30 Days of Night that, again, it's one of my favorite things with crossovers is that you really have to do a balancing act and do a perfect balancing act of both IPs you're crossing over. So this is a really solid one. It's going to be a little hard to find, but I do recommend it if you are a fan of at least X-Files and have at least enjoyed that movie. But soon, don't forget, people, we will be getting X-Files books from Marvel, and they'll be written by Jonathan Hickman, who has promised we're getting X-Files and an Alien crossover. So stay tuned for that.